Morning, hey guys, welcome to episode 6 of Kevin on Earth. I'm here with Rachel at the North Alabama Agriplex. Thank you, Rachel, for allowing us to come out here and do this. This is a privilege for me to be able to do, and a good opportunity, and I do appreciate that. Thank you. All right, so first I want to ask you, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became involved with Agriplex.
Okay, yes. My name's Rachel Dawsey. I'm originally from Cullman. My husband and I lived away in the Midwest for a while and moved back in 2011, right after the tornadoes. And the Agriplex was just kind of getting started with their facility here. And so I got hired by the board to start then in fall of 2011. And we officially opened our building here in 2012. So, yeah.
That's cool. So I've looked at some of the YouTube stuff and looked at the website. Tell us a little bit about the outdoor classrooms and the children's program.
Yes. So, when we first started, we were doing our touring farms for kids that the board had been doing since 2000 when it was started as a state board. And so, this year would have been our 21st year of touring farms for kids. And so we had to not do it this year because of COVID, but hopefully next year we'll be up and going. But it was a 2-day tour of farming sites around the community that kids ages 7 to 13 would take a big tour bus and go and see. So that was kind of our first program that the Agriplex was started. And then from there we started doing a Farm Kids Club that meets once a month. This past month we did pigs, so it was our first one back after COVID. We met outside our outdoor pavilion. Right now, all of our programming we've been trying to do outside. And then we also started a sewing class. We do heritage skills classes, sewing camp in the summer, garden camp in the summer. And then from there, we went on to do outreach into the schools. And so with partnership with the Alabama Wildlife Federation and Master Gardeners, we started doing helping with outdoor classrooms. So West Elementary, just down the street here, was one of the first ones we helped get started. And then we helped with East Elementary. Welty School already had a little bit going on. Harmony School, and recently Lynn over in Winston County.
Okay, so not just Cullman County, you have some stuff going on in Winston County also.
We try to help a little bit in our school programming. So after we started with outdoor classrooms, we got more funding to reach out into the schools. And so right now we have 2 educators that just go into the schools. They just yesterday went back into Hansville, the first program we've been able to do since COVID, or do resource kits. That's the other thing we've been doing. We've got a pile of pumpkins back here that will go into the schools. And so we try to do agriculture education that is coordinated with their STEAM curriculum. So we also do heritage education and garden education, environmental education. So all of it kind of mixed into one.
Sounds good. And not to leave out grown-ups, do you have adult programs
yes,
also?
we do. We have programming for adults, and we also have programs for adults and kids. Those are some of my favorites because I feel like the kids learn lessons, the adults do, and then they're reinforced at home too. So, but we have 2 different series that are primarily for adults, actually 3 different. One is our heritage skills. It's about lost and dying skills like blacksmithing or beekeeping, different kinds of gardening. Recently we've done medicinal herbs. And then we also have our living landscapes that's on backyard sustainability. And so that's how to have rain barrels, how to grow your own food, topics like that, raise chickens, raise goats. And then the last one we have is a newer one that's our Lunch and Learn series. We cooperate with the Cooperative Extension on. And the last class we did with that one was raised beds. The idea is you bring your lunch and you learn something over your lunch break. But we've gone to doing those virtual, and those have gone well. So we've got on the YouTube channel, you mentioned several of our Lunch and Learns are on there. There's a hydroponics one, hydrangeas, succulents, and then the raised bed one. So.
Sounds like you guys got a lot of good stuff going on here.
Yeah, thank you.
And on that note, what are some of your current projects or any upcoming events or projects?
Yes, so a week from today, next Friday, which will be, I think that's October the 9th, we will start back our Little Farmers preschool program, and that will be out here in the pavilion or out here. We're focusing on Margaret Wise Brown's Big Red Barn book. It's a storybook for kids, and so we will have some animals on site. Everybody will be socially distanced in their families, and that is a parent or grandparent child program. Also, our homeschool programs have started back. Last week we did a survival skills program, which was of course outside, and next month I think we're doing bugs and slugs. So those will continue to happen. We did not do our Farm Kids Club, which would have been tomorrow, because we were going to do a barnyard dance and we were going to do a square dance, and we decided we could not do that socially distanced. So we're still kind of half and half of what we're doing. So people, if they'll look on our Facebook page, you can follow and see kind of as we open events, or just give us a call and we'll let you know. Our cheese making class was canceled, and we were going to do a whole bat extravaganza for Halloween with adult programming and kid programming, but we're going to put that off till next year. So hopefully we'll be able to do that again.
Hopefully we'll be a little less socially distanced next
Yes,
year.
hopefully so.
So for the viewers at home, if they want to get involved, they want to volunteer, help out with what you guys got going on, how can they do that?
So if you go to our website on agriplex.org, there is a community button, and then under there it has a whole volunteer link, and it's you can sign up and make an account. Let us know you want to volunteer, how you want to volunteer. We're looking for people to help with programs, also just maintenance, garden maintenance. If you're interested in helping with that, we'd love to have you. If it's somebody who has a specific topic that they want to share, let us know. We're always looking for new speakers to present. We also need volunteers in those school gardens, and one of our other favorite things that we do is glean. Like, let's say it's the end of the season, a farmer doesn't want to pick the rest of his squash, and so he can tell us that, and we can go in and glean that squash. We partner with Society of St. Andrews, and then take that squash to the feeding agencies so that it's not wasted. And so we're always looking for field gleaners, because that usually will happen at the spur of the moment, and it's not always in the best weather. Sometimes it's warm, sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's rainy, but we would love to have people to help with that. And then we also have community gardens. We need some mentors with both the community and school gardens, so we have lots of ways to get involved. And then there's always, if somebody wants to help us with grant writing or office work, we'll take those volunteers too.
Nice. So there's a lot of stuff going on right here in our town that you probably don't even know about. Come on out here and let's get involved. Thank you, Rachel, for doing this interview. If you don't mind, let's go look at this beautiful property.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's start right here with this. What do we have here?
Okay, this is some late season cotton. We had squash blooming here, and when we pulled it out, it was kind of late, but we decided we'd try to see if we can get some. So the plants have grown well. You'll see they have two colors of flowers. There's a pink flower. Can you get that in the sun? And then a yellow flower. Yeah, here's both. But they're both on the same plant. And after they're pollinated, they'll, look in here, it makes a little bud, which is the square. And that's what will turn into the cotton.
Nice.
So we planted brown cotton, white cotton, and a little bit of green. So then we have potatoes trying to come up over here. They were some that I missed this summer when I dug the potatoes, but they're just fine and happy. So
yeah, look at how that's nice. It's a good looking plant right there. That's beautiful.
This time of year. We got some greens started over here, along with our things that always volunteer. We got some tomatoes coming in there.
Yeah.
We've had some rabbit friends eating those.
Some greens.
In the fall, we usually cover the beds with some little covers. And then,
I see on the hoops right here.
Yeah, those, and then we have some triangle frames too we put up often. Our flowers have done well, and I've just let them kind of keep going.
Oh yeah.
This was the first year we've grown this Gomphrena, which is mainly for drying. So if you cut these, they'll make drying, everlasting flowers. They'll last a long time. And then zinnias, which is my favorite flower, but the butterflies and pollinators love them, and they grow and grow and grow, and they'll volunteer when you've planted them in the past.
They're so easy to sow.
Yes.
Oh, there's some white ones. What'd you say these were called again?
That's Gomphrena.
Gomphrena, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and that's the purple is the same. The purple, the pink. This was a mixed Gomphrena package.
Gomphrena.
Yeah, Gomprena. Gomphrena. You go, and then marigolds.
Marigolds.
We always plant marigolds in with our tomatoes, and the tomatoes are done, but the marigolds are still growing. So this is one we're gonna pull up today and go ahead and get some fall stuff growing in there.
Nice.
But they're an easy one to save its seeds. You can grow them year after year. You take them once they dry. Those are all your seeds. You got free seeds. You can keep growing those.
Free flowers.
Yep, and they're good to help the bad nematodes in the soil stay away. So there's more marigolds taking over where we didn't. We like to grow with raised beds because our soil's really bad here. Like it wouldn't even pass a perk test to have a septic system. It's just the worst soil. But raised beds do great. And so we have these cattle panels bent over to act as trellises in there. And they're doing really well over on this side. These were some late season tomatoes we planted, and they've actually done okay, but we have some virus on those. But our beans have done really well. We plant snow peas in the spring, and then after the snow peas, we'll go back and plant green beans on those.
What's cool about this is it hangs down. You can just come through and pick.
Right, yeah, cucumbers do well on there. We had cucumbers earlier in the year. And then, let's see, we've got one thing we grew new this year was some little eggplant. And it's a baby eggplant. It's like you could grow it in a pot, but they just get a little bit bigger than that. And they've grown really well. You don't have to peel them. It's a patio eggplant, I think was the variety. But they're just this big, you don't have to peel them, and they did really well. We had these at the schools. They did well there. But the plants were healthy, and sometimes eggplants are hard to grow because they get a lot of pesticide or pest damage on them, but these did fine. So we try to grow as naturally as we can here. We do use BT, Bacillus thuringiensis, to kill caterpillars sometimes, but we definitely try not to use any chemicals as much as we can help it. We do use fire ant poison, and we do use, we've been trying to kill the nutgrass. We've had trouble with nutgrass in our rain garden out here, so we have used some pesticides on that. But the main reason we try not to is because, I can show you, I was looking over here on this side. These are herbs. We have thyme, we have chives, oregano. It's a little bit overgrown right now. But then over here, we have parsley. And you'll notice on our parsley, can you get these little caterpillars? I'll just pick them up.
Oh, look at that.
See, it's a parsley caterpillar or a black swallowtail. So they eat parsley, and we mainly grow parsley for them. And they also eat fennel. They prefer fennel if you have it. They'll eat wild carrot, which is Queen Anne's lace. It's getting a little bit cold for them, but they will make their chrysalis and pupate over the winter and come out in the spring now, this late in the year. But we grow a lot of things for pollinators, especially host plants for butterflies. He's gonna have to warm up there. These are other herbs we have. These have gone to flower, but this is Stevia, which it's just a sugar plant. My son, when I first introduced it to him, he like defoliated all the leaves and ate them all because it's so sweet. But you can use it to dry to make a tea or a sweetener. This is
and that's good for if you have sugar issues.
Yes, definitely, because it's just an herb, you know. There's no bad things, but it is so sweet. You have to be careful how much you use because it's extremely sweet. We have lemon balm over there, and this one is turmeric, which turmeric has been more and more popular with the health community. But you dig it up and you use the roots, and it's that yellow that makes the bright color in mustard. But it grows like a canna lily or something. It's really pretty.
It is.
Yeah. So we'll dig it up before freeze, and the roots will spread out. We'll have some to give away, and then we can plant back some and use some too. So that's the turmeric. So this is also herbs. The other thing we really like to grow here are walking onions. It's an heirloom onion, and when they get they will make, I guess, kind of onion flowers at the top, and then they'll make little onion sets, and those will make new onions, and they fall over. And that's why they call walking onions, because they'll place, here's some of them, they'll place these new little onions, and they'll just keep growing and growing. And you can dig these up, or when they're on the top, you can plant them. And I'm always giving away walking onions here because there's always so many. Just looking to see if there are any more. See, here's the baby ones coming up here.
Nice.
It walked to a new place. We've also got a little grass in there.
Always like things that sow themselves.
I know, me too. Yeah, these will just grow and grow and grow. And You can use them as green onions all winter. They'll stay green. And then you can use the onion bulbs. They don't get very big. They're little still. But so you can use them as green onions. They'll get a little bit bigger than that. But they say when you grow these, it's all the onions you ever need. So, but they're a really easy one to grow. Egyptian walking onions.
Egyptian walking onions. Okay, what do we have going on over here?
This is our hardening off table for our seedlings that we grow inside. We have a light system inside. We often do seed starting classes because it's so much fun to grow your own vegetables, and you can choose what you grow. It's a lot easier now to find fall crops. A few years ago it was hard to find fall crops, so we would grow a lot of our own. We have red Russian kale. It's one of my favorite things. It will grow all winter, especially if you cover it with a little bit of frost protection. We have Siberian kale, I think, and then this is a tatsoi, and we grew it last year, and it grew inside in the window, and it grew all winter long. I have one at home in a little hydroponics. It's growing great. So tatsoi, T-A-T-S-O-I.
Tatsoi.
One of my favorite new fall greens. We have some red cabbages, more kale, and a little bit of green cabbage, broccoli, some cauliflower, and some Swiss chard, which Swiss chard is my favorite summer green. It won't hold up through the cold winter, but it'll grow in the fall, but it will make it through the summer heat here. So we harden these off, we keep them covered so no animals will get into them. We have a problem peacock that likes to get into them from the farm nearby, so that's our main protection for them. We also keep worms. We have worms inside in worm bins, and then we have worms outside. We use them for a teaching tool. Kids love worms. We'll give everybody a red worm, let them look at them, learn the parts of a worm, how they move, why they're important. We also have this worm bin in the ground. You never know what's going to be in here. We often have a frog.
Look at that good looking stuff.
And there's been a shrew in here before. Oh, there's a frog.
There's the frog.
I think he's a really smart frog because he can eat all the worms he wants.
It's nice and moist in here.
Yeah, it's nice and moist. You can see there's a worm crawling right there. So we
gotta put my hands in some of this stuff.
It's nice, good compost.
Look at that.
We put
Smells
different
good too.
things in here. Sometimes when we do gleanings and we have like leftover potatoes, we'll put them in here. You can see there've been some pumpkins in here in the past. We'll do paper, shavings, grass clippings. There's a bunch of peach pits. There's peaches in there. And usually every year or two we'll dig it out. This one's a hard one to dig out because it's in the ground, but the worms don't freeze in the winter, and we can get a lot of compost out of it. So out of this bin, if I dig it out, we could get enough worm castings to fill a 4x4 bin, raised bed. These are red wigglers, and you can buy them actually in Tony, Alabama. There's green Gregs. You can look on Craigslist and get red wigglers from them, and you can get pounds and pounds of red wigglers, and they're not that expensive, so it's a good way to get your worm composted starting. So
Worm compost.
Vermicompost is the
yes.
official name. Yeah.
Here we go.
So we like our worms, and inside we just have them in in Rubbermaids, and we just keep an office one and a Rubbermaid. It's super easy, and put tea bags in there and apple cores and banana peels. So it's a good way to use your compost.
Definitely a great way to amend the soil.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Now we also do rain collection. This is one of our biggest tanks. It catches the rain as it comes off the roof. And so we usually never run out of rainwater to use. This one has the first flush diverter. And so when it first rains and the water comes off, it'll take all the polluted stuff, the trash, and it'll run right through, and then the rest will go into the rain tank. So this is usually, and we've gotten a lot of rain lately, so it's painted so the algae doesn't grow in it, but it feels very full. If it's not painted and it's clear, you'll get a scum growing on it, and so you want it to be a little bit of a darker color to keep the algae from growing in it.
Okay.
So the kids decorated this many years ago at garden camp. We also, when we got started here, we had a septic tank, and then like I said, our soil's really bad, and so we changed into city water, and so now our water and sewage goes into the city. But we had our old septic tank, so we turned it into an underground cistern. So this one, we pumped it, and we only used it on ornamentals at first, and now it's been many years, and we use it on veggies too, but that never runs out. It's one big tank under there, and it comes off of the roof, goes underground here with the tubing, and it feeds into the bottom. We have a pump that we can put into that, and it's enough to barely run a sprinkler, like pressure wise, because it's coming up from so far, but you can water with a watering wand or let it run through a hose real easy. So that underground cistern has been a good way to store water. Alabama is a perfect place to do rainwater storage because we are almost a rainforest. I think we got like 8 more inches, we would be considered a rainforest. And so, but the problem is it all comes at a certain time of the year, and then July, August, it's really, really dry. And so you can use all that stored rainwater to water your plants. So
Nice.
if you don't have a rain barrel, I definitely suggest it. We have just a small rain barrel over here. Rain barrel that comes off of the roof. We have screening to keep the debris out, but then also the mosquitoes, because you don't want to be raising mosquito larvae in there.
Oh, no.
You can actually put like a little BT dunk in there that will kill the mosquito larvae. We have the same problem with our hydroponics, but it is natural, and it won't affect your water, so it'll just kill the caterpillars. But this one we use to water all of the stuff up here. It's got an overflow, so when it rains, it just runs right out there. Or when it's full and it rains, it'll run out there. So you need an overflow, you need some kind of net to keep the mosquitoes out. Then our spigot's down here.
I suppose you want it up off the ground enough so that you can get some flow pressure.
Yeah, the higher you have it, if you had it way up there, you would get more pressure. So yeah.
Nice.
You want it a little bit off the ground to get a little bit, but this one does not have a lot of pressure, so it could be higher off the ground. Yeah. We also grow a lot of succulents here because I love to use them for programs because they propagate so easy. This was a program we did one time with it's called Hypertufa. They also call it paper concrete, and it's been really good for these succulents, but these will stay outside all year.
So this is a recycled plant?
So it's called papercrete. You use Portland cement and then vermiculite in there.
Okay.
And it makes they're lightweight. So they look like concrete, but they're lightweight. And you can form them into whatever you want. This one was made using one big pot and then one little pot. But people will make decorative ones. You can make a trough out of it. And it's a lot cheaper, and a lot lighter. So, but this one's just in an old tree stump. But these are all perennial succulents, and they grow well.
Okay, so I gotta ask about this one over here, because I've not ever seen one like this before.
Oh yeah, that is a mother of millions, and each little baby plant, each little side like this will fall off, and it makes a new plant. And so you'll see them growing over here. You see those?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so each one makes its own baby plant. Somebody gave us this plant. We've used it. It's just growing back now because last year we did a pumpkin succulent class, and we used up a whole bunch of it, but now it's filled in nicely, but they are always falling on the ground. The project with the Cullman County Master Gardeners, so they keep the rain garden up, and Mark is working on repairing the boardwalk, so we use this as a teaching station also, and the wood has been rotting. So the cool thing about this rain garden, and truthfully it's called a bioswale because it does have a drainage in there. So the parking lot is made so that all the water will run into the rain garden, and then it drains out through native plants that like to have their roots wet, and that helps to clean it off of the parking lot before it goes into groundwater. So we have beautyberry, which the birds love also. It's loaded. Beautyberries, this one's a Dahoon holly. We have, this one's a native viburnum, sweet spire, lots of daylilies, lots of different plants that are native, but there's some that aren't too. These Mexican petunias have been so pretty blooming. We have a native honeysuckle that the butterflies like, buttonbush, It's a bald cypress in the center, but when it rains, this just kind of looks like a pond. So it was dug out really far down, excavated, and then filled with a lightweight soil that the water will permeate through.
Excellent use of a low-lying area.
Yes.
On the property.
Yes.
This is
and
gorgeous.
Rain gardens, you can do, you can use a ditch for them. It's a great way. We have tons of birds, tons of native pollinators in here, and then we supplement them with some annual flowers too to give it some color. So, and it's a good teaching lesson.
And a nice little area to sit for lunch.
Yeah, exactly, it is. So this is our pollinator garden, and we have native plants that are host plants for butterflies. And a host plant means that your caterpillars are going to eat it. So you can tell they've been eating them. We plant a lot of milkweed. Hopefully we can find some caterpillars today. So the milkweed is the only host plant for a monarch caterpillar. And right now you'll see it's covered in aphids. Milkweeds get these yellow aphids, but they don't hurt anything. You don't have to, do not poison your milkweed plant if you have it to get rid of your aphids. Right now we are in early October, and this is the time of year that the caterpillars are finishing up eating. They will make their chrysalis, and then they will head to Mexico. This is the super generation of monarchs that will head to Mexico. So this is the common milkweed. You want two things for monarchs. You can tell we've had a ton of them. They've totally defoliated that one. You want milkweed because it's the only thing they'll eat. And if you have one milkweed plant, you will get monarchs. They find it. And then you also need fall nectar plants. So we have New England asters blooming. We still have some black-eyed Susans. And then the mountain mint, if you don't have mountain mint, it is a great plant. And it is one that, that the pollinators just love, and it's so easy to grow. But yeah, you can see these have been eaten up too. So this is the common one. I hope we find a caterpillar. We'll have to check this rose milkweed over here. There. You can tell they've been here. We've counted up to 20 recently.
You can definitely tell they've been eating.
I know they've been eating. We also grow butterfly milkweed. It's kind of or butterfly weed. It's at the end of its life right now. But let's go look at the pink one blooming over there. That's the rose milkweed. So there's lots of different kinds of native milkweeds, but the rose or swamp milkweed is one that grows really well here, and it'll even grow in part shade, and its flowers are pretty, so it's still got the nectar too. These are milkweed bugs. Milkweed has a whole ecosystem on it, because you get the milkweed bugs, you have the aphids, you'll have ants that are harvesting the honeydew from the aphids, and then you will have ladybugs that are trying to eat the aphids, but the ants will run away the ladybugs to try to protect the aphids. So there's a lot going on besides just caterpillars. There's also a milkweed tussock moth that will eat on those. And this is, you can see the butterfly weed. People may be more used to the butterfly weed, but it's also a native milkweed. So, and you have to look for the seeds, but you can find them if anybody's interested in growing them. They can contact the Agriplex. We have some milkweed seeds, and we know others that do, so we can help you get some native milkweeds. But I guess we're not going to find any caterpillars today.
Well.
And this one is the spider milkweed. You can tell it's been all eaten too. It has little tiny leaves, but it's got a white flower. You can see its flower over there. Oh, is that one caterpillar?
Oh, I see it.
There's still one on there. Look, he's eating the blossoms too.
See if I can get a good shot of that without stepping on anything.
Get him in there. Good, I'm glad we found one. So he's the super generation that will, after he pupates and becomes a butterfly, will go and overwinter in Mexico, and then will fly back in the spring. Monarchs are intergenerational migrators, which means it's not the same monarch that's going to make it back, but it'll be a second generation that might come back.
So if you see these guys in your garden, do not kill them.
No, don't. They're
good guys.
not on our endangered list yet, but are definitely threatened. They've decreased by over like 90% of populations, and they have all kinds of things going for them. But one is just, you know, we spray our weedy areas, and there's no areas that may look a little messy. Like right now, this butterfly garden looks messy, but that's what the pollinators need sometimes. So if you have a back area, you don't care about if the caterpillars eat all the leaves. If we don't have that, they won't grow. So
there's a ecosystem to having wild, untouched areas all to itself. Well, that does it for this episode of Kevin on Earth, guys. Thanks for checking us out. Be sure to head on over to the Agriplex YouTube page and Facebook page. Give them a like, a share, and a subscribe. Also, while you're here, click subscribe, give me a like and a share. Lots of exciting stuff going on right in our own hometown that we probably don't even know about. So let's get out here. Let's keep it green, and see you guys next time. Peace.